All right, so today we're going deep on something pretty big.
Yeah,
The Gospel of Luke.
that's a good one.
It is a good one. Um, and I know you love learning new things and you want to do it quickly and efficiently.
Yes,
So
that's the goal.
that is the goal. That's what we're going to try to do today.
Absolutely.
We're going to summarize the entire book of Luke
Okay.
in just a few minutes.
Well, I love it. Challenge accepted.
All right, good.
Let's do it.
So maybe just starting off, could you give us kind of a high-level overview of Luke? Like who wrote it, when, who was it written for?
Yeah. So the Gospel of Luke was written by a guy named Luke, which is helpful.
That is helpful, yeah.
We think he was a physician
Oh, interesting.
and a close companion of the Apostle Paul.
Okay.
And he was probably writing to a Gentile audience,
Okay.
maybe even a specific guy named Theophilus.
Okay.
And we think it was probably written sometime between 60 and 62 AD.
Interesting. Okay, so you said he was a physician,
Yeah.
a doctor. Does that come through in the way that he writes it all?
Yeah, actually, I think it definitely does. You see throughout the gospel this real meticulous attention to detail,
Oh, interesting.
almost like he's documenting a patient's case history.
Wow.
And so he'll describe like specific ailments that Jesus heals and even the reactions of those who were healed.
Oh, wow.
So it's a really unique perspective.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can see how, like, his understanding of the human body might have shaped the way that he understood and wrote about Jesus's miracles.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fascinating. Okay, so I guess besides, like, the medical details, what are some of the other big themes that you see in Luke?
Yeah, well, I think Luke's gospel is all about compassion.
Okay.
And we see Jesus constantly reaching out to the marginalized,
Mhm.
to the poor, to the sick, to the outcasts of society.
Yeah.
He challenges societal norms,
Yeah.
and he really emphasizes things like forgiveness, mercy, and radical inclusion.
Yeah, for sure. And you see that so much in, like, all the parables that he tells.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
the Good Samaritan totally reframes, like, who our neighbor is.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just about proximity. It's about, like, really seeing those who are in need
Mm-hmm.
and actually taking action to help them,
Yeah,
even if it's inconvenient or challenges our own prejudices.
right.
And then you have, like, the parable of the prodigal son,
Yes.
which is, like, such a powerful story of God's unconditional love and forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
No matter, like, how far we stray or how much we mess up, there's always a path back.
Yeah, it's such a good story.
And then, of course, Luke also gives us this incredibly detailed account of Jesus's crucifixion and resurrection.
Right.
It's not, like, sugar-coated at all.
No.
It's, like, raw and emotional
Yes.
and hard to read.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess, so how do you think, like, Luke's portrayal of those events sort of sets the stage for the spread of Christianity?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really shows like it's not the end.
Right.
Like it's the climax of this story, but
Yeah.
it's also like the beginning of a whole new chapter.
Right.
And I think that that's what we see in Acts. And I think Luke really wanted to make that connection.
So Luke also wrote the book of Acts.
Yeah, he
Oh.
wrote both of them.
Interesting.
And so they're like part one and part two.
Okay.
So Luke, the gospel, lays out the story and then Acts picks up and
Right.
tells us like what happened next. And I think a big part of that story is the role of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
And you see that emphasized throughout the whole gospel.
Okay.
The transformative power of the Holy Spirit.
That's so interesting. Okay, so I guess if we had to, like, really boil down all of Luke's teachings into just one core idea,
Mm.
what would it be? Like, what's the thing you want our listener to really remember?
Yeah, that's tough. There's so much good stuff.
There is a lot.
But I would say it's to see the world through the eyes of those who are often overlooked,
Okay.
to act with compassion,
Yeah,
and to embrace the radical inclusiveness of God's love.
that's good. It makes you think.
Yeah.
So what about you listening? What story or teaching from Luke speaks to you most? What image or idea kind of sticks with you? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Luke.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
This was fun.
It was good. It was good.
Okay,
All right, see
good.
ya.
See ya.
Bye.